Well, good morning, everybody. Let's simulate the final interchange run through Chillicothe, the westbound train from Parkersburg to Cincinnati. So once again, we've got a block of cars on the head end that are going to go, be dropped off in the Chillicothe yard and pick up the cars that are heading to Cincinnati. So at the end of this video, I'll show you what the yard looks like with just the cars that are going to go to the industries, and then I'll show you what it's going to look like when I add the other cars that JMRI added and explain what we're going to do next. So I'm narrating this on Thursday evening. Drove home from Canada today, 8-hour drive, and it was pretty miserable with the road construction, on and off rain, heavy traffic. Glad to be home. So the train is going to pull up and stop and uncouple the 4 cars, and we're going to put these directly into the yard. Now, since my yard is small, as I've explained before, we have staged the cars for the train to pick up. They're on the passing siding. So after he puts the 4 drop-offs on the yard track, he can pull out of the yard, pick up the 4 cars, couple back to the train, and head west. And again, that'll save the crew some time. Tried to do some railfanning while I was in the Kitchener area. It was just too miserable to sit outside. I did find a pedestrian overpass over the tracks close to the passenger station because they run commuter trains to Toronto. But I just could not stand out on that bridge with the weather as bad as it was. But hopefully when I go back, be nicer. Maybe I can catch some Canadian trains. So you can see the 4 cars, the pickups on the passing siding. There's a couple of L&N cars going to be returned due to L&N in Cincinnati. The reason why I haven't ballasted that track to the right that's going to go to the grain elevator is they had some little bit of street running to serve that elevator, and it was a brick street. Chillicothe has several streets that are still brick because it's a pretty historic town. And of course, all the streets are brick, but they've got pavement over most of them. I thought I might try to simulate a little section of brick street. Just need to figure out where I want to do it. I'm also thinking about making a passing siding, a short one, on that track, because there was one there. They did have a way they could run around cars on that spur. So a quick update on Chance. He's doing better. We had to cut his medication back to his normal dose because the extra was giving him some problems. But now Jazzy is limping on her front leg, so we have to take her to the vet. So the train's put back together, so now it's going to head west. I do not have enough track where I can show the complete train run by here. So I'm going to run it up close to the wall, and we'll just have to end it there. And then we'll talk about the cars that are in the yard now and the cars that I'm adding to the yard. And also another little wrinkle I have to do because of the way I run the Oak Hill turn. So here are the cars that JMRI has placed in the Chillicothe yard. Where it says destination, that means that's where they're going to go to in the next train. In this case, this Carolyn tank car is going to General Chemical. The next car is going to go to Ohio Firebrick. So there's two different trains here. The cars that do not have a destination, that means that they're in the yard, just basically taking up space. That's what JMRI does. It fills up the yard. So maybe eventually they will go out on the next train after that. I hope I don't just ship them out somewhere after, so I have gone ahead and placed them in the Chillicothe yard. Now I could have made it real easy and put them like at the end of all the yard tracks, and kept the cars I needed at the front, but I didn't. I just sort of randomly placed them around. But there's 27 cars, I believe. There's 16 that are assigned spots. But then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got 25 cars in the yard right now. And that's based on, the amount of cars will vary because it's based on car length. I might have 29 cars if I've got a bunch of 34-foot covered hoppers. If you got longer cars, it might be 24 or 25. So it's going to fluctuate between that, but it's basically trying to fill the yard up to the length that it can hold. So I'm going to show you a picture now of what's in the yard after we just got done dropping off the cars and picking up cars. All right, so these are the 16 cars that have destinations, either in Oak Hill or around Douglas Avenue, that we're going to be delivering. So now I'm going to show you a picture after I stocked the cars that don't have destinations. So now I've added the cars, but if you pause the video and count, you may say, wait a minute, Tom, you're missing some cars. I had 3 cars I had to put in Oak Hill. They're staying in the Chillicothe yard now, but remember the way I run my B&O train to Oak Hill, it's going to take cars from here, but it has to pick up some. So they will be in the yard on the way back. So I've got some cars staged in Oak Hill for the B&O train to pick up. So here are the 3 cars from the Chillicothe yard that I staged in Oak Hill for the B&O train to pick up and take back to Chillicothe yard. So I'm hoping this will work out now. It's like I have to have 2 trains for Douglas Avenue. I have to have 3 for Oak Hill because of the way I do it. Hope it's not too confusing, but now we're going to start sorting cars in the yard and building the Douglas Avenue and the Oak Hill trains. So everybody have a great Saturday, and as always, stay safe.